Greetings, this is Christine, State Coordinator for the Indiana Assembly, and I wanted to read an article to you from Anna, dated the 22nd of August, 2023. While we keep our attention focused on what is good and center our minds and hearts on peace and on what we visualize and dream of and accept, our happy places, we also need to go about the business of bulwarking ourselves and our assemblies with food and water security. This is an ideal focus for all state assembly militias and will be assisted by the KTF, which has already been briefed this morning and will be contacting the militias. The first steps may or may not have already been accomplished in your state, which is simply an assessment of existing water and food resources and planning for alternative water sources and long-term food and fuel resources. Realistically, we all know that city water resources have been poisoned for a long time, and this could get worse in days to come, as well as interruptions in municipal water services. We have to locate existing old water wells and get them prepped and tested, plan cistern captures of rainwater, and where possible install community hand pumps and where people can drive up, pump water, and drive away. Where can we store food longer term? Assess local sources and warehouse and storage shed opportunities among the members. Make distribution plans and identify those most at risk in your assembly. People who are elderly or ill or very young. Concentrate on making sure that they are supplied first as much as possible. Have supplies on hand where they can get to them easily without traveling, or agree among yourselves so that arrangements are in place to take elders and young children to safety with families in the assembly. Look at the local fuel sources. What happens when the electricity goes out? How many fuel sources are readily available? Does everyone have a plan to heat their house if worse comes to worse this winter? My team will be doing everything possible to make funding available through the assemblies to make all these things possible above and beyond what the assemblies can do for themselves by pitching their resources together. But don't get stuck or stand around waiting for funding. Just make a start and a plan and know that we are working night and day to get you the prepaid credit cards and other resources. Consult the preppers in your assembly. They may not make themselves conspicuous, but they are there. Ask for volunteers to help build preparedness plans for the assembly as a whole and for individuals and families in the assembly. Create neighborhoods where members are close enough to help each other. We keep faith with the best even as we prepare for eventualities, knowing that if civil unrest or disaster visits our state, it's going to feel good to have our own food, water, and fuel situation under control and be able to stay home out of the maelstrom. Simple safety steps should come first. Make sure everyone has deadbolts on their exterior doors and proper signs posted. Remember that you have to have a contact name and number or email or mailing address when you put up a private property or no trespass signs they are not effective if you don't give a name or contact. Make sure everyone has a fire extinguisher and knows how to use it. And everyone is flying the peacetime flag, either with an actual flag or door decals. Make sure each family has plans for safety exiting their house in case of fire or other necessity. Make sure everyone has a reconnect plan, how they will locate each other if they have to leave their home, if telephone services are shut down, etc. Make sure every family has a safety and first aid kit and knows how to use it. Such safety kits should include 2 emergency blankets that reflect body heat for each member of the family and 1 for pets. It should contain adequate gauze, medical tape, saline solution, and padding to dress multiple wounds, large and small, multiple times. Band-Aids, a range of antibiotic and antifungal sprays and creams, elastic bandages for sprains, antidiarrheal medicine, laxatives, water purification tablets, and live straw water filters for everyone. Safety matches, candles, needles, microfilament, painkillers, scissors, sharp knife, tweezers, cold symptom medicine for fevers, antihistamine medicine, rubbing alcohol, and pure grain alcohol like Everclear, and a hot water bottle, cold compress, and basic vitamins, especially vitamin C. This will pack up in 1 or 2 small backpacks, depending on the size of the family, and be ready to go. Everyone should have a safety whistle, a small flashlight like a pen light or keychain light, either mace or pepper spray, depending on local laws, and a stout walking stick or cane. Each family should have an emergency radio that is equipped to charge itself via solar-powered and or hand crank. Ideally, this radio will also be able to charge a cell phone. Each family should have at least 1 oil lamp, fuel for it, and a sufficient supply of candles, butane lighters, and matches. Tea light candles set on a fireproof surface lit and placed under upside-down terracotta flower pots will radiate enough heat to keep enclosed spaces well above freezing, which is good to know. Don't forget to stock up on batteries, especially any batteries needed to run medical equipment at home. Each family should have an adequate supply of sterno or other means to cook food. An outdoor barbecue grill that can burn charcoal or wood, depending on local supplies and your own situation, can provide a supplemental cooking fire during gas and electrical outages. Each family should have warm blankets and sleeping bags. Each family should have at least 3 months of food in storage, either on their property or very close by within walking distance. Remember that in the event of any emergency from whatever cause, it is standard operating procedure for the police and other groups to barricade the roads and not allow traffic into or out of the area. Curfews are set even in outlying areas so that it is difficult to move around and access places that would normally be easy to get to. Developing and being aware of alternative routes such as power line easements, sewer tunnels, and similarly utility accesses is advised for emergency use in such situations. I myself had to take a 4-wheel drive truck down a power line easement to save my husband and pets during the Millers Reach wildfire because state troopers had barricaded the road and stood in my way, so be advised. Be aware that in the current environment, cell phones and other devices, including newer automobiles, can be used as tracking devices and may also be weaponized. All electric vehicles are basically bombs ready to go off. All cell phones should use scattering technology like CellGuard and to protect the user. If you have an old microwave oven, put cell phones in that at night. It provides a natural Faraday cage and will protect small electrical devices in the event of an EMP or similar disaster. And do think ahead about sanitation issues. Women of childbearing age should have a stock of feminine hygiene products. Every family needs a supply of hand soap and liquid dish soap, a stock of toilet paper, paper towels, and luggable loos. 5-gallon plastic buckets fitted with toilet seat lids that can be closed, and a plan for disposing of sewage. And a pre-prepared household composting system is ideal. A covered pit latrine dug in the backyard plus a sufficient amount of barn lime will also do the trick. Consult with any farmers or former farmers in your assembly to develop a sanitation plan. Dry paper waste can be burned. Plastic and metal waste can be compressed and stacked up. A supply of pre-moistened and antibacterial wipes like baby wipes is also recommended. These wipes, whether used to wash hands or to wipe butts, need to be kept separate from other household garbage. Every family needs a sufficient supply of both standard white kitchen garbage bags and black plastic contractor bags, the heavy-duty ones. If the electricity goes out, conventional toilets can still be flushed using any wastewater or natural water that is available, simply by pouring a bucket of water into the bowl. A sufficient amount of lake water or river water or gray water from laundry or dishwashing will trigger the flushing mechanism just as well as the waste stored in the toilet tank. Remember that generally speaking, FEMA is not your friend and cannot be expected to do anything actually helpful or useful during an emergency. Most of the time, they don't even show up until 3 weeks after the disaster has peaked out. Other times, they show up with guns that they aren't authorized to carry and do things like force people out of their homes in order to loot them. FEMA is now and has always been a dire waste of taxpayer money simply because they don't do anything humane or sensible toward managing any emergency. They do not set up latrines or soup kitchens or tents or shelter anyone from anything. Ditto the so-called National Guard and the military, which are similarly inept and hogtied and can't do anything practical to help unless the governor specifically asks for their assistance, which he virtually never does except in a peacekeeping capacity. This means that they are sent out to enforce evictions and evacuation zones, prevent looting when they normally participate in barricade roads, enforce curfews, and do nothing toward providing food, shelter, fuel, sanitation, communication, or anything else. In the worst cases, like what has transpired in the past in New Orleans and now on Maui, these agencies and departments actually and factually make bad situations worse by preventing civilian aid efforts and randomly shooting people in the name of public safety. Use extreme caution and raise your hands when approaching any state police, FEMA, National Guard, or military units during an emergency or disaster scenario. Use extreme caution while filming any of their activities, especially when they commit crimes. Even normal activities like riding a bicycle can get you killed, so be very aware and very conscious of your environment. The military, always overly hopeful and full of bravado with these sorts of estimates, has advised that there may be 3 weeks of generalized civil unrest following an as yet unstated event. More realistic guesses say 3 months and others say 3 years. I say do all and whatever you can to ensure your safety and the safety and comfort of other assembly members. When push comes to shove, money doesn't matter. What matters is goodwill and being prepared. Let our state assemblies rise to the occasion in every situation, and may our militias and our members conduct themselves with wisdom and honor. All right, everyone, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. I will follow up with continuing sending this video with links on how you can access some of these supplies, so you can start building your local home plan as well. And we need to start building these plans on a statewide level so we can be able to support Indianians. So as they call in of where can we get help, we can say, here, you can go here. All right, it's time to get moving, people. I love you all. Peace.